Coming up on this episode of Mind the Game.
Another stuff I like out of Iverson too is, like you said, you like to screen. So you hear, and JD, unfortunately, we got him bringing the ball up. We don't, depending on who's guarding him.
Depending on who's guarding
him. Actually wanted to challenge the mind with something else, and I actually picked up golf a little bit.
Mike D'Antoni used to say to us when we got tired, you guys you tired? Oh, you want to go and get in a wrestling match with these guys? Or you want to just run up and down and get them tired? I feel like the dunker is going away a little bit. We used to try to hide a non-shooter in the dunker, and now it's either like he's got to be in the action rolling, or we'll even space him and he'll be a cutter.
A lot of the smart teams are still using it, but they're using it with smalls.
Moving along to skinny Luka.
Excellent. Mind the Game Season 3.
We are here.
All right. You know what I thought would be fun? What would we run? We played together in our primes.
Oh,
now, we had some common teammates.
Yeah, for
Channing,
sure.
Markeith, Jared, Dudley.
Yeah.
The five of us.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that comes to mind first thing is like, two-man game.
Yeah.
Me at the nail.
Yeah.
You handling.
Yeah.
You tell me which side. Boom, flip screen. I can hip tap and go. I can ghost out of it. I can hold the screen, let you get back snaking right. Pocket. We can play the side.
Yep.
You coming down in transition and I'm trailing, early drag, clear side. Once you hit me in the pocket, now it's a numbers game, and we got all those guys weak side, a bunch of shooters, maybe one slashing from the slot.
What about this pet play? I got the ball up top.
Yep.
We got you, Markeith, Channing, JD. No offense, JD, but we're clearing him out.
Yeah, we're going to clear him out.
All right.
Little Iverson.
Little Iverson cut for LeBron. I follow you a little bit right when he gets here. We've all seen this play before. I hit Markeith. Channing's guys got to stay tight on Channing.
Got to. And if he tracks me to the rim, then Channing's popping back, and it's a bang-bang three.
He's not going to want you to get a clean catch. Bam, bam. Layup city. If not, duck in and play out of that. What else do you like out of the Iverson stuff?
I mean, listen, another stuff I like out of Iverson too is, like you said, you like to screen. So, we can have you with the ball. Well, now let's put you here. So you here, and JD, unfortunately, we got him bringing the ball up. We don't, depending on who's guarding him.
Depending on who's
guarding him. C. Fry and Markeith. So now we're going to send him through. So obviously we got Dubs with the ball. We're going to send Keith through this time. And we're going to do the same Iverson over the top. But instead of the pass going to you, Duds is going to hit me.
It's all right. We get it.
Duds is going to hit me with the ball. He's going to slide away. Channing is going to set a little screen for you. And now we running 4-1, 3-1, or whatever, however we want to call it, side pick and roll. I'm coming off depending on how your guy, if he hard hedges, that's an easy pop for you. What is the point guard going to do? Right. Is he going to blitz it? Is he going to hard hedge? He can't drop. If he drops, it gives you too much space. It gives me too much runway. So,
for sure.
We got a lot. That's the beauty of it.
Not to brag, but they didn't like to leave my body. They don't.
It's impossible to leave your body. How you gonna leave a guy that's 50, 40, 90? It's impossible. You can't leave him.
We could have had a lot of fun. But you're right though. Like drawing up different plays. You can do that stuff in ATOs, but really it's how quickly can we get down the floor, get space, get into two-man action. Remember early in my career, we did a lot of step-ups. Just guy coming out of the corner, step up, get the switch, go to work, get you in the post, get downhill. Be a lot of fun. It's too bad my back is broke.
You paid your dues. You paid
a couple.
You got a lot of great memories and a lot of great moments.
That's right.
The back held up. The back held up long enough.
Yeah, I did. I got lucky, actually, thinking about it. We both got to play to 40. You're still going.
Yeah, still going.
How was the summer? What did you do different this summer? We know how hard you worked.
Yeah.
What did you think? What's your approach to summer at 40?
Trying to stay off the court as much as possible.
Save it all.
Yeah, I'm trying to save it all, and because I know, once the season started, obviously it's a gauntlet, it's a marathon, and you want to kind of build up every month, get stronger every month. So I try to stay off the court as much as possible. I actually wanted to challenge the mind with something else, and I actually picked up golf a little bit.
Okay.
You know, and obviously the biggest thing with golf is like, this is the first time I've played an individual sport. You know, so there's no like, you know, trying to make sure the teammate is in the right spot, or I need my teammate to make this right play, or he needs me to make the right play in order for us to win. It's me versus each hole. Yeah. And it is like the most complicated mind fuck ever. Right. You know, so it's just you versus the greens. And I love that aspect of like something that's so uncomfortable and so hard. Like I love that.
So like, are you in now? Is this I'm going to play. I can see myself doing this for the next 20, 30 years.
Oh yeah, the bug is real. I've heard about the bug for so many years, and I was like, well, it's not going to get me. I don't like golf at all. Who wants to be outside all day walking around and carting around? Like, no, it's real. I am into it. Like my algorithm on my phone on social media, every other post or every other video is some type of golf video now.
Swing mechanics.
Yeah, swing mechanics, you know, par fours, par fives, the best golf courses in America, the best golf courses in the world. Like, what should you not do? What should you do? You know, John Daly's swing. Everybody stay away from it. He's one of a kind. Like it's like.
So you're getting the whole education.
I'm getting the whole education.
And are you simulator? Are you going out to the course?
I'm going out to the course right now. Yeah, I'm going out to the course, but I do have a simulator being put into the house very soon. Yeah.
See, like with me having to chase my kids around, I can't fit golf in. I gotta get
you out there. I'm gonna get you out there though.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna come down to Sky's.
I played a bit as a kid.
No more shit. You're gonna be good. I played as an adult as of July 2nd.
But that's the hardest thing.
Year.
That's the hardest thing to do, right? Like, you know, it's like languages, whatever. As a kid, you learn stuff. You get a little bit of a feeling for it, the rhythm. But it is interesting. There are similarities to shooting, right? Mechanics, right? Balance, footwork, rhythm, all that stuff. Hips, right?
Hips.
It's also, you found already, like, it's not how hard you swing.
Oh, it ain't.
Like, especially as you're learning. Right, so many things can go wrong. Right. Same with shooting. Yeah. Right, like you start trying to do too much, throws it out. That's cool, man.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of did. I spent a lot of time with the family, played a lot of golf. You know, obviously worked on my body all the time, stayed in the weight rooms. You know, Pilates, yoga, all that type of stuff. I did touch the court, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see the ball. Yeah, keep my rhythm, keep my handle, see the ball go through the rim. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of save it, knowing how much of a gauntlet it's going to be this year. Another season of, you know, ups and downs, and you know the whole, you know, just a course of an NBA season. 100%. We know how it goes. So.
Did you change your approach on the physical stuff at all, or tweak it, or have a different like feel for it?
No, it's kind of basically the same for me. You know, I've kind of found a rhythm over the last few years of what works for me, you know, and what doesn't work for me. But I kind of got a good rhythm on, you know, what needs to be done. You know, and obviously, you you have injuries throughout the course of the season, and I'm still kind of recovering from it, things of that nature. And I mean, we both know as you get a little older, the injuries kind of decide they don't want to recover as fast as as that. But that's all part of the process, and that's okay with me.
Sure. You know what's nice about it? You know, you're still playing at an All-NBA level, but you have Luka, so. You don't necessarily have to start the season fast. You have to be great in the second half of the season. So trying to obviously you want to be out there. You're always competitive, but that's got to be nice a little bit to be like, I'm going to be fine.
No, absolutely. When you have a dynamic, transcendent player like Luka, when you have an unbelievable complementary player in AR, and some of the vets we got, bringing in Marcus Smart. Championship pedigree guy, bringing in, DA, been to the finals as well in Phoenix, and some of the other guys we have Rui another year under his belt, Vando's back healthy, so we look forward to what we can accomplish, and like you said, me being 40 on the brink of 41, I don't have to rush myself to get to 100% in October and November and things. I think every month we'll ramp up, but I'm happy with where I am right now.
Maybe tell me a little bit, like I remember in my career, you have to adapt to different teammates. Playing with Dirk, I did a lot of screening for Dirk. We did a lot of pick and pop action. We did a lot of playing off the elbow, hit the elbow, go down and get him or Finn, and he's got the ball or doesn't. Then I go play with Amari. Now he's all out assault and transition, hard diver, able to get on top of the rim. So. you have to adapt, right, a little bit. How's that adaptation been for you? Maybe like in the context of D Wade.
Yeah, for sure.
Kyrie and Kevin.
Yeah, like you just said, like, my first 7 years in Cleveland, I did the majority of the ball handling, and we had a couple guys that came in throughout the course of those 7 years that, helped me a lot with the ball handling, but not as much, So I was the playmaker, I was the decision maker, I made all the plays with the ball in my hand and, got the ball to the guys in the right spots. But when I made the transition to Miami, I knew I was going down there and I knew I had to adapt my game because I was also going to a team where a guy who also handles the ball and made the plays and things of that nature in D Wade. So, how could I still be effective, with our offense, with everything, but not have the ball in my hand? My usage rate goes down. So, me trailing in transition and allowing D Wade to have a clear side, and when, the defense kind of stop him, okay, boom, right into a drag screen. Right into a ghost screen, whatever the case may be. And the same with Rio, when Rio was handling the ball, or, when Norris Cole was handling the ball, now I can get the defender off of them, by setting a nice solid screen. And
they don't want to leave you.
They're not going to leave me, so they can get, into the paint and be able to play the 4-on-3 game too. So, just adapting to that. And then going back to Cleveland, Kyrie, another guy who, obviously we know his majesty with the ball, like he's a magician with the ball. So, how can I be effective with him with the ball in his hand? And the good thing that I had already got the experience in Miami, it made it so easy for me when I went to Cleveland and played with him. So it was kind of the same thing, allowing Kyrie to kind of do his dance. Okay, defense is at bay, the defense is flattened out. Okay, what can we get to right now? Quick drag, quick go screen, quick flip screen, things of that nature. So, and then I come here and you have a dynamic guy like AD who could rebound the ball at 6'11", 7 foot, and then push the ball. Yeah. So start doing inverted screens. You don't see many wings setting screens for the bigs. Yeah. So you start doing the invert screens, and there's not many fives or many fours that can navigate getting a screen set on them. Yeah. So they are super confused, and allowing AD to work his magic too. So, adapting, to whatever teammate and whatever the team needs is something that I think a lot of guys should be able to do. And sometimes it's challenging for you, especially if you're a guy who, high school and college or wherever you play, you always had the ball in your hand. Yeah. But we have other guys who always had the ball in their hand too, so how can we make the most out of our team? So, it's been pretty seamless for me once obviously I learned it and got used to it. And I think I give a lot of credit to Spo and the coaching staff down there in Miami of trying to figure out how we all can be complementary to each other.
That was a process.
Yeah, for sure.
It must have been uncomfortable at first.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think like the eras also have made that different? And let me explain. Like it feels like that era, it felt a little more like your turn, my turn. Not that that's what you were doing, but because it was we get to this action and then he goes. Now it's more random. It's more second action, third action. Make the deep, get into blender, first domino. Do you feel like I still remember you cutting. I still remember you screening, but it was a lot more like when it's D Wade's, you got to be spaced, right? Now it feels like no, you have to be ready to cut, to play second side, to screen, to play the short roll. Do you feel like that's?
I think the personnel of teams have changed as well.
Right.
We look at last year. We discussed it in one of our previous episodes about just like OKC and Indiana and the guys that they're putting on the floor. Right. Pretty much everybody on the floor can dribble, pass, shoot. Right. If you don't have the shot, get into a dribble drag or get into the lane. Okay, now how can we get the defense shifted? Right. Back in our era, you had one or two guys, maybe three guys max that could dribble the ball, but you had other guys that their only job was to space. They had other guys to stay in the dunker. You had a big that was okay, stay in the dunker, stay outside the Karl Malone area. So if we drive, big helps up, you drop it off to him. So you look at the finals where you had, Chet and you had Miles Turner and you had those guys are spaced to the 3-point line. Back in our era, you might have had one guy, like you mentioned Channing Frye, Chris Bosh when he moved to the 5.
They were rarities.
They were rarities, but most of the time it was, for us, Joe Anthony, and UD at that time wasn't spaced to the 3, and Chris Birdman Anderson, he wasn't spaced to the 3 in Miami. It was like, we got you guys in a dunker, boom, guy helps up, be ready for a lob or a dish off. So, I think that the personnel and how the game is played now, a lot of pace, a lot of space. And Spo taught us that a lot, like pace and space. I remember after our year where we lost to Dallas, He went to Oregon,
sat
with Chip Kelly, and that was their whole thing, in Oregon football. Pace and space. Yeah. Pace and space. Get up to the line. We want to run play. Get to the line. Let's go. We're going to make the defense real tired. Right. Get to the line. Get to the sets. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 plays in advance. So we know, boom, we run this play. Second play, we already know where we're going. Let's get to the line. By the time the fourth quarter comes, everybody's tired. Yeah. So, the personnel and how teams play, it has definitely changed. I look at Atlanta now. You look at like Trae Young and Ricochet, and Jalen Johnson, and now Porzingis now at the 5. Yep. They're gonna, Dyson Daniels, they're gonna spread you all the way out. So, that's just the personnel and the name of the game now.
And to that comment, like, I feel like the dunker is going away a little bit. Right? Like we used to try to hide a non-shooter in the dunker. Now it's either like he's got to be in the action rolling, or we'll even space him and he'll be a cutter, or he'll be an outlet and play DH. Do you feel that?
Yeah, or you can
shifting?
Yeah, I do. The dunker is definitely not as common, but a lot of the smart teams are still using it. Yeah. But they're using it with smalls.
Right. Yes.
They're using it with smalls. You look at Boston when they were making their championship runs. You saw Jrue Holiday there. Yep. He was space. Yeah. Okay, the ball would get thrown back to Porzingis or Al Horford. Jrue was slot cut, but instead of him going all the way out to the three-point line, he was staying a dunker sometimes. And just like how I just mentioned with the 5 trying to navigate getting a screen set on them, a lot of X1s and X2s don't know how to trap the box or don't want to trap the box when a big or a wing is rolling. And he's a smaller guy, so you have a guy like Jrue Holiday that can play down there, that can finish with both hands, can be a threat down there. It definitely helps your offense out too.
You know what Jrue was also great at, especially if he had a smaller guard, if he got the matchup with the point guard, someone who's physically stronger than one, offensive rebounding.
Yeah.
I think he was great at just bullying his guy and being an offensive rebounder. But it also puts the smallest players the low man.
The low man.
So now, if you're getting downhill, you got a point guard coming over instead of Porzingis, because Porzingis is stretched to 3. So I think it messes with.
And if it's not Kyle Lowry or Jalen Brunson, those guys are not taking charges.
Right.
And they're going to get out of the way. Yeah, they're going to get out of the way. So.
And it's hard in our league, I think, harder in our league with the spacing sometimes to take a charge on a guy who gets downhill clean. They're able to get around and make plays. Or, you're caught in between because we're spread so far. That ball's going out. Your rotation's so far. So
yeah, for sure.
I think that gets back to why some teams are packing the paint early. We don't want you to even get in. Then we're not. Then we're gonna have to X out, or we're gonna have to make a long close up, but we don't have to get in a full rotation all the time. That's a great point when you put that smaller guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, I understand that the number of threes have continued to rise and rise and rise. 30 plus, 40 plus. Some couple teams even 50 plus a game. But there's no better shot than a wide open layup or a free throw. The percentages will speak for itself. So if you're able to crack those seams and get into the lane, it's demoralizing for a defense as well. If you're just like running and you're getting layup after layup after layup, or you're just sitting at the free throw line, it's demoralizing for a team. So that is very still important.
It's not the law, but I feel like that's the difference often between the good and the bad teams. The bad teams take a lot of threes because it gives them a variance opportunity, right? Where they can beat a better team because point. However, the quality of those threes, that's why maybe they're not as good a team, is how many times can you touch the paint and create threes rather than let's get a 3 up because they're better than us.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm being a bit crass here, but it's real, right?
Yeah,
you see that
absolutely real.
More teams that don't get to touch the paint, get people in rotations. The American Express Platinum Card is now better than ever, with updated benefits to help you unlock unforgettable experiences. You can access the largest global airport lounge network and global hotel program with a suite of benefits, as compared to other credit card programs. Plus, with dining benefits at over 10,000 U.S. Resi restaurants and exclusive access to unique experiences worldwide, Platinum membership means you can turn ordinary into the extraordinary. There's nothing like having an escape from the airport crowds. And with Amex Platinum, you're able to gain access to their network of global airport lounges. For me, it's just great to get a quiet corner, to do some work, to maybe chill out a little bit before I get home to the craziness. But obviously, getting to a lounge in an airport just kind of makes the trip a little bit more seamless. With an array of premium travel, dining, and entertainment benefits, all backed by American Express's award-winning service, Platinum membership brings experiences to a whole new level. It's true what they say. there's nothing like platinum. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withplatinum. Moving along to Skinny Luka. He's a model. He's a model.
Man, he looks good, man.
Looks good.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks good.
You know, the great thing about seeing him in shape, too, is that that doesn't affect that. In a sense, he's functionally stronger.
Right.
Right? Because he's more dynamic,
moving.
for sure. And you know, like, his XL-D cells, when he's in great shape, you know, he doesn't look like one of these guys that's like the most athletic, explosive, but he moves really well for a 6'8" dude. And the less weight he has, his ability to stop on a dime, his ability to change direction at that size and skill level, it's amazing. Have you seen already that movement?
Yeah, for sure. I think the movement, I watched a lot of the EuroBasket this summer too. I watched his team a lot, obviously, him being my teammate and, you know, him seeing how he can carry a Slovenian team to whatever heights, and he did. He was right there, you know, with Germany, you know, in the semis. But he just looks, you know, obviously a little bit quicker, you know, a little bit more functional. But I think more importantly, I think what a lot of people will not see is the recovery now. I think when your body is in top tier shape and you feel so much better out, it's not the actual game. It's not like Luka's game is going to change.
It's not like he's still going to get
30. It's not like he's not going to get 30, 40, 15, and 10, 12. Like, that's not going to change. But I think for him personally, I think what's going to change for him is going to see how he wakes up the next day after 3 or 4 nights. He's going to be like, oh, man.
Knee doesn't bother.
Like,
back's fine.
Like, because you've built this up, you built this body up, and now, you know, it's going to be so beneficial to you and your recovery process and your energy, you know, so... I'm super duper proud of him. Obviously, he don't need to hear from me or hear. I mean, it's what he wanted to do for himself, and that's the only thing that matters. So, but I need to get on his regimen a little bit now. I'm gonna take some tips from him.
That's a heck of a commitment.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like you're already getting 30 and 10 or whatever. Like, to say I'm gonna spend 6-8 weeks like really getting in top shape. You know, that's a commitment. That shows he cares. That shows he wants this team to be a great team. So, I'm excited. I'm excited to see him move. But going back to EuroBasket, you watched a lot of it?
I watched a few games. Like I said, I watched Slovenia a lot more than a lot of other teams. I did watch Germany. And shout out Dennis Schroeder. Obviously, he's leading that squad. He's a good friend of mine, and him being MVP of the whole thing. Also, you know, Sangoon and those guys. They were.
Let me stop you on Schroeder. He's a Hall of Famer. Think about it. I mean, he was basically MVP of the World Championships, MVP of the Euros, finalist or semifinalist in the Olympics. I mean, that's not a FIBA Hall of Famer. I think that's a That's probably. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of the stats as well, and a lot of the accomplishments as well this summer after EuroBasket. I wouldn't. If it happens, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I'm so proud. No, he's put in the work, man.
Because it's the totality. People get in for college careers.
For sure. High school.
Different stuff. So that is a part of the puzzle. I mean, pretty impressive. I mean, not that he's not a terrific NBA player, but he's not an all-star.
Right.
Not been an all-star. You can see him playing an all-star level on certain nights for sure.
Right, for sure.
But the way he's been able to dominate the international game.
And that's a big part of our game.
Right.
The international game is a big part of our game in the whole grand scheme of things. Yeah. What they've been able to accomplish, what they've been able to do coming here to America and play in our league. And a lot of our guys go and play overseas as well. It's all totality. So
history of the game.
Absolutely.
A lot of great history internationally.
Absolutely.
Shangoon.
Hell of a summer.
Yeah.
Hell of a summer. Hell of a summer.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to just ride that wave, right to Houston and have a big year for them. Oh, man. My good guy, Fred, man.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That sucks.
Speedy recovery, brother.
Yeah.
Get back, man. Get healthy. Get back. That's gonna be a tough blow for Houston this year. He's like the
teammate.
Engine. Great teammate.
Great player.
Great player. He's the engine to any team that he's on. And obviously we saw what he was able to do. We talk about Kawhi. Mm-hmm. You talk about Pascal and all those guys that they had.
Sure.
Kyle. But Fred was such a big piece of that, and
big piece.
Big,
balls, steps up in big moments.
Steps up, makes big shots, and just like that, he's just even keeled.
Yep.
His demeanor is always the same, and you need that throughout the course of the season. So
composure.
Speedy recovery, brother.
Yeah.
Get back, man. Get healthy. Get back.
JT, Tyrese, Dame, Fred.
Yeah.
This is a part of the game.
Yeah. What you hate. What you hate.
You know, he hates to come on our episode 1 and talk about, injuries. It's just a part of the game.
Yeah.
How much of it do you think is just the pace and space era, still playing so many games?
I mean, I don't know. I can't sit here and say that I have the direct answer to that. But, we are, at this point, in the era that we're playing in, it's a lot more running. It's a lot more miles on the body. It's a lot more possessions.
Space.
So, it could result in a lot more, wear and tear on the body throughout the course of an 82-game season. And if you're one of those guys that like to play or want to play, I mean, we all want to play all 82.
Right.
But, I don't know. I don't know the answer to it, but it's definitely different. I've lived and been a part of 3 or 4 different eras.
Right.
I came into the league. It was literally
Too
was no pace and space.
Too big.
It was too big. It was usually a point guard handling the ball, and it was a lot of, it was 8 guys pretty much in the paint all the time with floppy action and things of that nature. So, and I moved into another era where we started to get a little bit more, you kind of have a little bit more 4 out, 1 in, maybe 3 out, 2 in, maybe,
Phoenix or
exactly. So, you got to that era, and now it's kind of like another era where it's literally like, you can have 5 out.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone in the paint.
Right.
So,
it's almost like the guy that can't shoot that can play in our league has to be special.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You just can't, you gotta be special in a way.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be T.J. McConnell.
Yeah, TJ.
You have to be so special like that. He's
Draymond, or like Hartenstein.
Yeah.
Great at the floater, great passer, great energy, like just different skill sets. It's hard, or you have to be incredible rim protector or whatever it may be. But it's funny, right? Like that player has to be special in that they found a niche for themselves.
Yeah, a niche. They did, and they're so dynamic.
It's not an issue.
Yeah, and when you put them on the floor, it's not like, oh, well, it's 5 on 4 now.
Right. They make you pay for that.
They make you pay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, make you pay for that.
But I do believe, and it's no one's fault, 82 games is too many. We started this way back when, and now we're kind of like beholden to it.
Yeah.
The game, sports science has gotten better, way better, especially it's like going, like all technology is improving at a rapid rate. Having said that, there is nothing you can do when you play 82 games. You're on airplanes, you're on different, at altitude, you're in different time zones. And now the game has gotten stretched. So people are shooting from 25, 6, 7 feet. We've got more shooters on the floor. There's more space. So now you have to cover X cells, D cells. So I think some people are like, wow, it was more physical back in the day. Mike D'Antoni used to say to us when we got tired, you guys you're tired? Oh, you want to go and get in a wrestling match with these guys? You think that's going to be more fun? Or you want to just run up and down and get them tired?
Right.
I'd be like, yeah. So there's like 2 sides to all this stuff. But I think that like when the X cells, D cells in space, there's no getting around the wear and tear that causes. Like we're talking about elite athletes covering elite athletes in bigger spaces, longer rotations, more closeouts, more possessions. I think unfortunately it just is a factor.
Yeah.
And then so I hate load management, but it's a part of the equation.
Yeah.
Like we have to be smart. We don't want guys to miss when LeBron James goes to Atlanta. We don't want some kid to be sad because he's got to sit out. But sometimes that's the reality. Is that we have to be smart about it. So I don't know. I feel like it's an important part of the puzzle is managing the rigors of the game now.
Yeah, for sure, because of how the game is today, for sure.
And now over to our producer, Jason, for a word from one of our partners.
Thanks to DraftKings for sponsoring the show. LeBron and Steve break down the game, and our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook let you get in on the action. DraftKings brings the excitement of game night right to your phone. When you're watching your team and get a hunch about the next play, you can turn that instinct into an exhilarating bet instantly. New to DraftKings Sportsbook? They're offering an incredible deal. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's right, $5 could turn into $200. The possibilities don't end there. Use those bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. For fans of live betting, DraftKings delivers with the real-time, in-game options. Get in on the action now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code MIND to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Minimum minus 500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Let's go to like maybe some actions you guys ran last year, and I'll take this back to Cleveland. Okay, and some similar actions you guys ran there, similar to what Denver does with Jokic a little bit, but I remember watching a game in Toronto in the playoffs. Fourth quarter, down going in the quarter. I think it was you on the elbow. I think it was Delly, Dellavedova, C. Fry. I'm trying to think who else was out there. I think Richard was out there. And Richard Jefferson would often cut out. And then a point. Now, this might have been different people, different sides. Who would you think is the guards? You got Delly, you got a 2.
It could be Shump.
I think it might be Shump, for example. So you got Shump with the ball. All right. Here's and so Richard clears out. As this ball goes to you, here comes Delly for a back screen. Here comes Shump to the rim. All right. Then Delly's coming off you, playing this game.
And now we have lob game with a slide.
So the first look is on the rim, I'm guessing. Let's see if they make a mistake and get on the rim. You know, the second look is Delly just wide open. Third look is DHO, Delly. Fourth look is DHO, you rolling. Fifth look is everyone's occupied. You got your best player going one-on-one. I think you guys scored 7 straight possessions and literally played every option.
Every
got
option.
Channing on the skip when you roll.
Exactly.
You know, him sliding out of the corner. I see you guys using this action a little bit with the Lakers. So you got, you with the ball, Luka with the ball, and you got you and Austin or Luka and Austin playing the back screen rub game. How important is it for this to be a component? And I want to hear, I'm sure JJ's saying we want to play fast, we want to play early, we want to play pace and space. But when you need baskets, how important is it for you guys?
We want to play with pace and space, but the game is going to slow down at some point, or it's going to be a foul here, okay, take the ball on the side, and you got to be able to execute. You want to be able to execute in the half court no matter what. You want to get up the court, give yourself as much time, to score a basket. But
see if they make a mistake.
And if they do, okay, let's cash in early, but when it's time to slow the game down or if it's time to execute, we have to be able to go to something. And those are one of the sets that we know we can go to. Just horns action, and just start to make the reads. If AR is handling the ball, and me and Luka is at the elbows, and now you got space. Say for instance, you got Rui in one corner, you got Marcus Smart maybe in another corner, or Jake or DK, whatever. You got shooting in the corner, so you're trying to keep those guys that's guarding them hugged up. And AR can hit either one of us, and he can either go off the opposite guy, he can speed cut, get the handoff back. If the handoff's not there, then we can play two-man game with the two guys at the elbow when we have two of our best decision makers at the elbow with or without the ball. So, and with Luka with the ball, in tight quarters, if I'm coming to set a tight screen at the free throw line, I'm rolling. He got a shooter on the pull behind. It creates so much.
And two tall passers. Right. That makes it hard. You kind of got to switch. And that's where AR, I think, is so important because he's going to have the third defender. You guys are going to probably draw the two biggest, most physical assignments. And then AR, with his skill set, is going to have the third. So it's not just about him having the weakest defender. It's about him bringing the weakest defender of the three into the action, which allows you guys to create an advantage and domino. Now, how do you feel when you put in a non-necessarily three-point shooter? So like DA's on the floor.
Right.
Did you go away from this action, or did you put him in the strong corner?
Yeah. You don't go away from it, because then you can manipulate defenses by, now you have AR handling the ball. You can do some skip passes from Luka over to DA, and now you can go uphill DHOs with now DA rolling, where he's really good rolling to the rim. So there's ways when you have guys that don't space the floor as much to still be able to space
and make you pay.
Yeah. So we have complementary guys that can do a lot of things that can help our offense still, even if the 3-point line is not their biggest asset.
Yeah. How do you feel in those actions, those rip to DHO actions? Would you rather be the ones at the elbow with the ball, or would you rather be in the action getting space, or is it all about matchups?
No, I think it's all about matchups, and I think for me it's whatever we need. I've done it all, and I'm very, I can be successful at them all, and I know, okay, if we're playing a team and they like to switch a lot, okay, this is not a hit and hold game where you get a full body you hit and now you trying to wrestle the guy off of him because he's now grabbing, trying to get underneath the screen. So now this is a game where, just it's touch and go.
Yeah.
Get behind. How fast can I get behind? So you got to do it with, even like we said, slow the game down in half court, but it's still pace.
Yes.
It's still pace. We want to get into our actions right away. So, it's just a hip tap and get out of there. Or maybe, we clear that guy in the corner. We clear him out on the flight of the ball. So now when I go, it may be a ghost screen. I don't set it on Luka. Now I just ghost out to the 3-point line.
Create confusion. Get them on their heels. Step late. Ask different players to be in different positions. You're a point guard. You're used to defending the ball. Now your guys go screening. How much help?
Yep. How much?
No help. A lot of help. It's tricky asking questions. Let me ask you this. When we talk about pace in the half court, one of the teams I thought was a great kind of leader in this was the beautiful game Spurs. You guys played in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Comment a little bit on how that 0.5 decision making. Do you feel like that has set up, that was some of the foundation of the way people are playing now? Because we think of pace as up and down, but there's just as much value to pace in the half court.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, like you used to say, you think about the Spurs teams and, those guys were generational before their times, and a lot of it came from, I think, a lot of the European scouts that they had, being able to see the European game and knowing sometimes, they didn't have a lot of guys that could just come down and break defenders down. We got to do this as a team, but we got to do it with a lot of space and a lot of pace. Let's get to our actions. Let's get the ball moving. If you don't have a shot, dribble, drive, kick. Dribble, drive, kick. Set a screen. Get out of it. Like things of that nature. And I think that Pop and those scouts and those coaches, they did a great job of kind of bringing that game to the NBA, and it caught us all off guard. We didn't. It takes sometimes a year for you to get used to a certain action, like, oh, what is this? So for sure, having those battles with those guys, and you knew, Tony coming down with so much pace. He's coming down with so much pace. Okay, he gets off of it. Okay, now Manu has it. Manu, fakes it like he's gonna shoot, and now he's driving, getting to the middle of the floor. Now he's kicking to somebody else. Boris, he's faking, he's getting into the lane, and then the ball ends up in the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest of all time, Timmy D's hand.
Yeah, he gets in between the circles. And,
it's like, what do you do?
This works because 5 guys are willing to make quick decisions, right? I think it's a great lesson for young players. It's a great lesson for young guys in the league. I often say, guys can go get it themselves, but there's a time and place, and you always have to think, what's the best for the health of the offense, not the health of my stat line. Now, the balance, tricky thing, and I think hopefully you and I can relate on this, is that, but as the primary creator, you want to feel a certain amount of control, but like you said, if a team can develop where all 5 guys are just, there's nothing wrong with driving it or shooting it, but making quick decisions. The ball keeps moving. Because sometimes, like you said, Tony comes down, he may not have a total advantage, but he just gets you leaning. He just gets the guy coming out of the corner. He just gets the guy coming towards the nail, and it's going that way. Now they're coming out. It's one more pass. It's a cut. Guy comes up, pick and roll. He's late. Rolling. Timmy rolls, over-rotate, skip, 1-2, corner 3. So sometimes it's interesting for young players to be able to find that way to let go a little bit, let go of the need when you're a primary guy of having it all the time. You ever feel that, that transition when you were younger?
Yeah, for sure. But I also think it's who your coaches are too, and what your upbringing is around the game. In high school, I didn't dominate the ball, so when I was drafted, I wasn't the point guard on our team in high school. We had a point guard who went to go play college basketball, who went overseas and is like the lead time, all-time assist guy in Stuttgart in Germany. Okay. So I wasn't the point guard of the team, but we all had our ability to. We was pass and cut, pass and dribble. If you don't have a shot, get off of it. It also, even though I was the alpha of the team, I was never. My mindset was never that I need to have the ball in my hand. It was like, we're winning by doing what the coaches want us to do, and our system works. So I'm like, when I got to the NBA, it changed for me, and it kind of weirded me out.
Right.
I'm like, this is
they're now demanding you to make.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not winning basketball. Yeah. I know what winning basketball is, and people say, well, that's high school to the pros, but great basketball and winning basketball does not matter the level. Yeah. That's what people get so mind effed up because they think, okay, well, the pros is different than high school. Well, the only thing that's different from high school to the pros is just the size and the players and the talent. Mm-hmm. But basketball IQ 101 is basketball IQ 101 on any level. Yeah. So I was taught the game from a kid when I first started playing all the way through high school on this is how you play the game. This is how the game should be played. This is not, I love it now. I'm not gonna, I love golf. I do, I love it. I love it. But this is not golf and it's not tennis. Yeah. You have to rely on your teammates. You have to figure out how can these 5 guys on the floor complement one another, and do the things that need to be done in order for the success of the team. So when I got to the NBA, really, man, my rookie year, I was weirded out. I was
they're you got to make all the plays.
It's like a guy just comes down, he just comes down and no pass, and she shoots it. I was like, oh, what the hell is this? This is a culture shock.
Well, that only takes you so far. I think a lot of coaches are going to put the ball in the best player's hand. It's security, right? Okay, well, if this guy's a great playmaker, it'll cut down our team turnovers. I know he can go get it. He'll create a first advantage.
I agree.
But it only takes you so far.
I agree.
You have to have layers to it. It's really as much about a mentality as anything, a willingness, because I think that's the thing, right? There's a security in having one guy have the ball a lot. I went through it, you went through it in your career. Sure. At the end of the day, it also becomes really difficult in the fourth quarter of multiple playoff games to constantly make the same plays.
Yeah, and then a different rhythm for your teammates too. Mm-hmm. You've been handling the ball all game, or you've been the decision maker all game. When you finally get off of it at some point, it's like your teammates what am I supposed to do? They kind of get weirded out too. So a lot of people, think that this is what we wanted to do, but this is the position they put us in. And yes, we became great decision makers, and we knew where we wanted our teammates to be. But I'd much rather, when I got to Miami and we started to learn, and I got off the ball, or I started playing so many more different positions, and we have the complementary players to do that. That helps. Obviously, you got to have the right personnel.
Yes.
But it helped, and it was a breath of fresh air for me to kind of get back to playing just, right, I know, and I had the ball in my hands as well, but setting screens and running the floor and, not always having to have the ball, kind of being a decoy.
Well-rounded offense.
So that definitely helps.
I think that's one of the biggest emergences that we're going to probably see even more and more and more is just how important blenders got, right? Just the first domino and having other guys that can attack a closeout, make a play. Beautiful basketball.
That's what it is. I think that's what the game is going. That's what the game is. That's the next era of our game. I think it's begun already. But how many players can you put on the floor that can create the domino effect in the blender? Welcome back, man. Mind the game.
Season 3.
Good to see you. That's
Yeah, we can't cheers. A little too late.
cheers.
Thanks for watching Mind the Game. New episodes drop every other Tuesday. Remember to like, subscribe, or follow wherever you're watching.